everybody. So I'm actually coming in really quick with a little bit of that pet peeve vibe, the vibe. So let's try this again. I'm currently driving, and I figured I would take a moment before
Russell Street for half a mile.
So basically, I went to what I thought was a regular interview, and instead, first off, the thing that actually kind of disturbed me about this was for the type of company I was actually going for this interview. Okay, so
in a quarter mile, keep right to stay on Russell Street. Follow signs for Hamburger Street, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
The is actually extended. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of thinking about this one. The reason I'm saying this is, first off, I've worked for this company before, so I already
keep
know
right to stay on Russell Street, then turn right onto West Hamburger Street.
Second, the company itself is a good company, and the fact that the position that I am going
turn right onto West Hamburger
is
Street
for security, you would think that the setting in which this interview was going to take place would not have been the way that it was set up. And with what was playing on the TV that was actually in the interview room, which actually threw me off guard. So I showed up. I was the first person who actually showed up to this interview on time. And here's a few things that I just kind of noticed that threw up a red flag. One, I'm there before the office is even opened up. So I get to see the people showing up to the building. They are not even really in what you would consider a uniform. Okay. Second, when I do come inside, paperwork isn't switched over.
You are in a 5-minute slowdown.
Or anything else. And awkwardly enough, I'm asked to go sit into the interview room. This is when I kind of noticed this was about to be a mass interview, open interview session. Which actually had me feeling some kind of way, to be honest, because when I go for a place to do an interview and they tell me a specific time, I'm expecting there to be a one-on-one interview at that time, prompt, professional situation. Instead, I find myself watching Chicago PD. If you've ever watched that show, including sex scenes and other things on the television, in this setting with other people for a security job. Now, the next thing, I was not asked to come back out to sign the sign-in sheet, and by the time I actually went out there to go ahead and put my name myself, there were other people who went ahead and hit in front of me and put on their name down. Luckily, something was said at the time that they was getting ready to start actually calling people, and I did get to go in and speak to this person. This, I have to say, is the first time I've ever actually been in a situation where I was actually interviewed by HR staff and not the actual scheduled interview person that I was supposed to actually had this interview with, which really drew another one of those red flag situations where I was just sitting there staring at this like, I already have dealt with this company before. This seems a little bit worse than what I'm used to. And the questions started getting asked that I already kind of knew this might not be 100% for me, because once we got to talking about the pay rate and if I wanted full-time employment, I kind of felt like I might have wasted my time. This is something that I figured that I would ask you all. Have you ever been in a situation in which you thought you were going for a one-on-one interview and instead you ended up in a situation lumped in with a bunch of other people for a group mass hire, and did that like throw you off from trying to take employment with that company? Or was your experience good in that situation? Or do you think it actually is a bad look for a company for, one, the interviewer who's supposed to interview you is actually late and does not show up? Two, the people handling the actual interview process do not have your resume or any of the other information for which you already put into the system to get the interview. So you're being asked questions for which you already gave full out, explicit, detailed responses to before you showed up. And 3, this is the one thing that actually made me feel highly uncomfortable with the situation. And I know some of y'all probably want to throw me some shade for this, but the lady who was actually interviewing me, which I felt kind of strained because I didn't want to just get up and walk out or feel discouraged based on the reconsidering if I wanted to take employment back with this company. So I'm actually going to give my impression about that situation. And how does that make the company look to you if they first off ask you to come in and then you find out it's an open interview and not one? They just want to see who shows up and nitpick out those people, and it doesn't matter about your experience. And I didn't drive there to be offered a regular guard position or to come there and sit for whether or not what I actually applied for was available at all. So let me know what you all think. I've talked about that a little bit. I genuinely enjoy being a independent contractor, but at the same time, I thought maybe since I'm going back to school, it would be nice to have us be. I would have been better off just working during that time instead of going in for this interview. We'll find out today if I do get the call back. If not, the pay grade for which I know I'm supposed to get, it seems like from reading her face, there's a part of me that kind of feels like I'll be let off the hook if I don't get that. I might be asked to compromise in ways that might not make that job or that experience even worth it. So hope everybody's doing. See y'all next time. Bye. And sorry for the weird choppiness of this. I'm not sure what's going on with live lately, but